Do you remember your first job? Coming home with your first paycheck and then your mum takes all your money? Well, on Quora, this mother says that she did exactly that. Let's take a look. My 14-year-old son got a job at McDonald's 2 weeks ago. He got his first paycheck today and I took it because I owe my cousin money and now he won't talk to me. Should I punish my son? What a weird question to ask. And we've got a comment here from Rachel Streech, I think that's how you pronounce it. You need to apologise. Give him back the money you stole from him and deal with your debt to your cousin yourself like an adult, like you're supposed to be. Margaret says, you are the one who deserves punishment. Pay him back with interest and an apology. Cruiser Coffee says, his earnings, his money. You should pay him interest, 10% per month and part thereof. I'll be honest, if this is a real story, I would be pissed if I had my first job and my mum took all my money. Like, I'll be okay with like a segment of it, like for rent or something, but just to take all of it and then to want to punish me, I would be like, I'm pissed. I would be so annoyed. But I'll be honest, this sounds like a troll question. Clyde here says, you should be reported to the Child Protection Service. If you owed money to your cousin, it has nothing to do with your son and your loan from your cousin. You ought to be proud that he has a job and is making money for himself, so he doesn't have to ask you for money. So give him back his paycheck and tell him how proud you are of him for getting a job. You have a parental obligation to support children until he reaches the age of at least 18 and 23 if he's in college. So apologise to him. I'm very sorry, son. And praise him for the next few years. You have been a very good boy. I completely lost track of where I was. As he struggles to make a go of it. And when you get old and you have a place to stay, he will be willing to help you. And if you continue in your ways, you'll wind up in your old age with no place to stay and no held from the sun because of the stupid acts you are taking now. So Clyde thinks that this mother's ruining her relationship. I mean, I would be pissed if that happens. So it's probably got a bit of a point there, doesn't he? So Sue says, your son needs no punishment at all. He's got an honest job. And you took his very first paycheck away from him? That is very wrong. You are the one at fault here. Think what your action has taught him. Why bother to work if you have no reward or benefit from it? That people who are older and more powerful can do as they please. I don't know why Sue sounds like this. Can do what they please with people's property. He could learn that theft is easy for adults and he might start doing that. That his feelings don't matter to you. He is vulnerable and not valued. Not like me, Sue. These are not good lessons for a teenager to learn, and he is most definitely should not be learning them from his parents. I think you need to apologise. Roberta says, why did your son get a job in the first place? Was it to supplement your family's income, or was it so he could pay for things for himself, for which you would otherwise be paying? That is true. Like, why did he decide to seek out a job? I mean, 14 is quite young to get a job as well, so it's not like he's even getting paid that much. So to take all of that would be crushing. And I guess if I was 14 and I had my first job, I would be thinking about what I could spend it on. Maybe I want to get a Nintendo Switch or something, and then to have it all taken away from me, yeah, that would suck. I told my 15-year-old son to come work with me, but went to school instead. How do I punish him? You don't punish a child for doing the right thing. Going to school is much more important than going to work with you, unless it's for a very good reason. We don't know what the reason was. Again, another really weird question. That's why I like this website, because you get these absurd questions. I think it's just people trying to wind each other up. Got another one here from Emma. You shouldn't punish your son. You should punish yourself. It was quite wrong to take his paycheck. If you owed your cousin some money, it was up to you to find a way to make the paycheck, not from your son. Sharon, no, you should be punished. If you love him, you'll read every book on good parenting. And we've got another one here. So this is another question. But Robert's answering this question. What are some suitable punishments for my 14-year-old daughter after I came home after a vacation with my wife to see the house was a disaster from the last night's party, which we had no knowledge of? If you and your wife went on vacation and left a 14-year-old home alone in your house, you got what you deserved. Bill here says, bullshit troll post. It is unlikely it is even true. You are a grade A arsehole. No, why would you want to punish him? I got another weird question here. So Kate's answering this one. Not sure what I'm about to read here. My 14-year-old son was kissed on the lips by his 14-year-old female cousin. He didn't resist. How do I punish him? Someone says, suffering you as a parent should be ample punishment. I've got another question here. So Maura's answering this question. How should I correctly punish my 14-year-old son after finding out that he pays other kids to do his homework? And the answer here is the punishment I suggest would also be a punishment for you and his other parents. His homework would be done in a location of my choosing, probably in the kitchen while I'm working on dinner, paying bills, making tomorrow's lunches, etc. That way, if he has any questions, I'll be there to step right in. It also forces a minimum amount of time spent on homework. When he is done, I'll check it, blah blah blah. Other punishments like grounding, blah, would be punitive. Okay. AJ, got to come in here with a hot take. You are a cunt stain of a human and need to give him his money back. I'm sure this is a troll post. If not, you're still a cunt. Deborah. So this is another answer to a different question. My 14-year-old son makes more money than me. How should I stop him? So Deborah says, unless he's doing it unlawfully, why would you stop him? Just help him open a bank account to save his money. And this one's answering the question on homework. So 14-year-old son is paying other people to do his homework. Stop giving him money. If he doesn't have money to pay them, he'll have to do his own work. Okay, we've got Roland here answering this question. My son, who is 14, now has a job and can work 18 hours a week. I asked him to save his money, but he just wants to spend it. Should I just let him do what he wants to, or should I try and teach him to build a nest egg? Now, this is actually a more serious question. So Roland says, an approach I've seen working is to incentivize him to put money into a savings account. For every dollar he adds to the account, you'll match it dollar for dollar. That sounds pretty cool, actually. 50 cents of a dollar or whatever works, whatever amount works for you, and succeeds in motivating him to begin socking it away. I haven't heard that term before. The trick is to also impose some limitations. He can't withdraw funds until he moves out of the house. You know what? This is the most sensible answer and question I've seen on here. I actually quite like that. So this is another answer about the homework, paying for homework. Jacob says stop or greatly reduce his allowance. So take his money away from him, make him redo it all, make him explain the homework to you every night. Well, he's not going to be able to answer that, is he? Sharon, you're disgusting. Hope you lose your son, and you don't deserve him, you horrible filth. That is a very intense response. Ed here says no, he didn't get a job at a major fast food chain at 14. I mean, yeah, who's hiring 14-year-olds? I guess it does happen, but I feel like you have to be at least 16 to work at McDonald's. Maggie. So is it a fair punishment to take away my 14-year-old son's phone that he bought with his own money? I mean, no, it doesn't sound very fair. Maggie says it depends on a number of factors. The biggest, of course, is why do you want to take his phone? That's true, he just wants to take the phone away. My son bought a phone and I just have an urge to just take it off of him. Next, I'd ask what you mean by taking it away. Are you going to get rid of it or sell it or destroy it? Don't do that. You probably have a legal right to, but please don't. The boy paid for it and deserves to own it. I agree. When people ask me about help my son kissed his cousin. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. So Glenn's responding to this question. My 14-year-old son has just been suspended for punching another boy in the face. How can I adequately punish him? And Glenn says, does he need to be punished? Maybe he needs to be rewarded. Let me ask you a question. Why did he punch the boy in the face? That's a valid question. You know, what the hell's going on? Was it self-defense? If so, he should be given a pat on the back for standing up for himself. I suggest you be an adult and be a parent and decide how to punish/reward your child. Yep, I just want to know the situation. If he's just punching people in the face for no reason, probably needs a punishment. Another question about kissing cousins. Having a parent like you is punishment enough. What else has this person said? People really hate this parent. So, here's a completely different question. My 14-year-old daughter keeps throwing up her food. As a punishment, I kicked her out the house and I haven't seen her in 2 days. What do I do now? That's a weird question again. David says, enroll in parenting classes. You're responsible for the child until she's an adult. Grow a brain. Inform the police and ask to help her find her before harm comes to her. Apologise to her. Get a doctor to find out why she throws up. Because you might have like an eating disorder. Kicking her out the house, that's ridiculous. You never know. Quora is a weird place. Lawrence says you've got to be a troll. No real person can genuinely be both this stupid and this nasty. This is a completely different one. My 23-year-old son got a job that pays 1 cent a year and he thinks that's not enough. This is just stupid. Amy says, well, just show him a cardboard box that you live in and the dumpster food that you eat. That should convince him. That's just a stupid question. Stupid question. I think we're reaching the end of this here. Let's do one more. Gwen. So answering this question. My 14-year-old daughter makes $88 an hour. How can I tell her she needs a better job? This is just getting ridiculous. Surely the money she earns should be enough to help with household expenses, leaving enough for pocket money. When I was 14, I had a weekend job and I lived at home until finished my education, leaving school at 16, blah, 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 blah. This question is just stupid. Last one. This is honestly the last one because you just go on forever with Quora. What do I do about my 16-year-old son? He hates to help around the house and the yard when he gets paid. So he hates it when he gets paid. I told him he should be lucky he gets paid. He told me other kids at school just get an allowance for doing nothing. He gets super disrespectful. I mean, this sounds like a legitimate question. And Cara says, my daughter is now 29, but she was, of course, once 16. Don't care what other kids at school are doing or not doing, or what they get. He is super disrespectful, then he gets nothing. You're not going to be disrespected, period. He has a choice. He pitches in, helps around the house and the yard, and does not complain. This is what should happen in a family. He doesn't want to do that, I tell him that's fine, but he doesn't get an allowance. That's it. Stick to your guns. This is the way it's going to be. If he starts disrespecting you, he gets no allowance at all. No discussion. This can be so easy. Help with the chores with no complaining. And with that, I've had enough of Quora for one day. Yeah, it's quite fun looking at the stupid questions. Obviously, some of them are just ridiculous and people trying to piss people off. But some of I just like looking at the responses, really, what people say, because it's just funny. So if you like this video, please press subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.